Making a semi-homemade stuffing, and what I mean about semi-homemade is I have a chopped onion in here, celery. I really like to see the coarse pieces in the stuffing, hot ground sausage, and this red sausage is a chorizo or a linguiça. It's a Portuguese kind that you can get like at some supermarkets. I know everywhere will not have it. Our local Publix has it. And I got herb stuffing mix. And this is actually made with Hawaiian bread, Hawaiian stuffing, classic herb and spices, and sage and onion. For things to be delicious, it does not have to be every single thing, you know, homemade. It's semi-homemade with the stuffing mix with all the herbs and the seasonings and everything. And I do add in some extra sage into my stuffing. And I actually like dried cranberries, the craisins. It makes it so good, just that extra sweet, tart kind of flavor. And these are the dried cranberries, kind of like the cranberry raisin. So I put some in already. I'm going to add some more. You can see the steam, but when they're cooked in there and with all the stuffing and everything, it's amazing. So about a good tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of ground sage in there. I love the sage flavor in stuffing. I just think stuffing is not stuffing without that sage flavor. So each of these stuffings are asking for 1.5 cups of water. I always like to use chicken broth, and I'm actually going to put 2 cups of chicken broth for each box because we have all of this and it's going to suck up all the liquid. And I just get this chicken broth. It probably has about 4 cups in here. I'm measuring it just to kind of show you, but you can just basically pour it into the pan. The good thing about stuffing is if it feels too dry or looks too dry in the end, you can definitely add in water. So that's 4 cups of chicken broth, and I mean this calls just for water anyways, so I will put in the last 2 cups of water. But when you put in chicken broth, it really just adds a depth of flavor and it just really tastes so good. And that is the last 2 cups of water. So you're going to kind of let that simmer, and then we're going to open up the boxes of stuffing and put it in. Also, to make Thanksgiving and holiday cleanups easier, I buy foil pans. Nothing wrong with it unless you're hosting a smaller dinner party and you want to be a little bit fancy. But that's my foil pans, a little bit of Pam, and then the stuffing is going to go inside of it, and that way we can bake it in the oven tomorrow. And it's okay to make stuffing and side dishes and get a couple of things out of the way. The only thing that I would not make the day before is the mashed potatoes. Like, you want fresh, creamy mashed potatoes the day of. So you can see it is starting to simmer. So we are going to add in our stuffing mix. And we're going to continue to do that with each one of our boxes. And you want to just, you know, mix that down. See, this is only 2 boxes, so like I said, it absorbs the liquid, it absorbs the chicken stock, it absorbs the water, whatever you choose. You can even add in beer. Yes, beer, white wine, whatever flavor depth you want to create in here, you can add it. So now that it's boiling, you can see that it's boiling. You want to turn this off because it will continue to cook and you do not want it to dry up. So this is about 6.5 cups of water. I did add in another half a cup right now because I want it to stay moist, because the thing with stuffing is you want to bake this in the oven tomorrow. You want to have kind of like a golden crust to it. You want to be able to, you know, have the soft stuffing texture in the middle, and then you bake it and you have that golden top crust. It's amazing. So I put it down on the cutting board because the pan is hot from the stove, and you see our 2 already greased foil pans. If you have a lot of guests, obviously you're going to probably use this whole pan for everybody. I'm just having 6 guests this year. We're keeping it small. I lost my mom a couple of years ago, and I lost my dad this year, so we really don't have anybody coming over besides my kids. But we're going to be putting it and separating it into the foil pans. You can see all that goodness, the celery, the onions, the meat, the ground sausages in there, some cranberries. If you don't like the cranberries, like I said, omit it. Some people put apples in there. Apples are something that I've put in the past, and they're absolutely amazing in stuffing too. Chestnuts for a little bit of a crunch. So fast forwarding, here are the 2 pans of stuffing. Obviously one is filled a little bit more. Like I said, I'm going to be giving it to a friend for their holidays. They're an elderly couple that I always go and visit. So tomorrow, after you refrigerate these, you know, cover them up, refrigerate them, and tomorrow put them in the oven after you have, you know, your turkey done cooking. And one of our side dishes that we like to do is I cut them in half, and I add a little bit of onion. I cut them in half, drizzle olive oil. You can see the bacon pieces in there, and garlic, salt, different seasonings, black pepper, whatever kind of seasoning flavors that you like. Just bake them in the oven with the stuffing. I like to get mine to caramelize. The last 5 minutes of Brussels sprouts, I drizzle honey over them, and they are the most amazing thing. The bacon will get crispy, and the onions and the Brussels sprout with the honey, it is so good, all the caramelization in it. And I do not own any of the rights to the music that was played in the background, just trying to get into the holiday spirits of everything with everything that's been going on in this world.